What's the most embarrassing cringy thing you've accidentally shown someone, or something they accidentally saw while using your phone or computer? Oh god, my internet was down. Had to have the Bell alien guy come to fix it. When it was fixed he asked me to just check it was working properly. So I refreshed a tab and it instantly opened the porn I was watching before the internet died. As a 21-year-old woman, that was the most horrifically embarrassing moment of my life. He then said, "Is there anything else you need?" And I became worried I was living in the plot to the world's most cliche porn. Not me, but a friend of mine was living with his dad, and they only had one computer in the house. This was 15+ years ago. My friend was showing his dad how to do something on the computer and they opened up Windows Media Player. Somehow it started playing the last video watched, which was a lesbian porn video that my friend had been watching. Way back when, I was playing a bunch of World of Warcraft. This was back when people were making funny machinima YouTube videos constantly, and I had them downloaded to my computer so I could show my friends. Then one day, I set up a very early version of Plex, video streaming software, on my computer, and I hook up my TV for a small party. Little did I know, Plex scans your media library and then runs out to the internet to find a cover image that Plex thinks matches your movies, so that you have a thumbnail to click when you want to watch that video. For some of my WoW YouTube videos, it found pictures of orcs and elves fucking, and threw that up on the screen. The girl I liked at the party, "What the fuck is that?" Me. Borderline speechless. I have no fucking idea. In my younger years working in desktop support, we had a guy complaining that his computer was running slow. It was literally full of horse porn. This was back in the 90 MHz Pentium days and long before people had anything better than a 56K baud modem in their house. I had to show my boss and point out that obviously, this guy was using company bandwidth. We had a fractured T1 at the time that we paid out the nose for, to download non-work related material onto his company laptop. Clearly in the office. This was also the same dude who got caught putting breast milk in his coffee, so there may have been a few issues there. In college I had a crush on a guy whose name was 4 letters. I set it as my phone passcode. When I was home for break, my brother took my phone and started teasing me about liking this guy. Then he tried to unlock my phone using his name as the passcode. It worked. I didn't show this, but it was shown to me. I worked at a fast food chain as their IT guy, but started in one of the stores in the chain and was known by all of the elderly regulars there. One of them asks me for help with something on his phone, accessing his email or something to that effect, and I instructed him to open his web browser on his phone and search for something. The very first autofill response that came up was, "I accidentally impregnated my stepdaughter." Edit. For those that are curious, I unfortunately do not know if he did, in fact, impregnate his stepdaughter. Was talking to some cute girl, it was going well, and gave her my phone to add me on Facebook. Her profile was the first profile on the recent Facebook searches. I was at a pool party and someone asked if they could use my iPod for the music. I obliged. He found a playlist with some songs he liked and put it in. I didn't realize it when the music started, but about halfway through making that particular playlist I experienced some heartache. So suddenly the pool party heard "Unbreak My Heart" by Tony Braxton. I ran out of the pool and was like, "Oh, how'd that happen? Weird," and put in some metal. Smooth. If it happened today I'd just own it and laugh, but 17-18-year-old me was embarrassed. I had sent nudes to a guy I was dating. This was before I realized Google Photos saved everything. I proceed to delete everything from my phone and think I'm in the clear. Well, my ex logged into my Google Photos and saw I was sending nudes and freaked the fuck out. I thought he had downloaded some hacker shit onto my phone. I figured it out, eventually. My GF and I had just gotten back from my sister's out of town wedding. Her super conservative mom asked to see some photos, so I opened one on my phone and handed it to her. What I had completely forgot was that my GF had dressed up as a sexy nurse that weekend. I had just gotten out of hospital for some health issues, and I had taken a bunch of photos of her in costume, straddling me. These pictures were right before the wedding pictures. I don't usually have scandalous things on my phone, so I completely forgot. Her mom didn't say anything and just handed me back my phone after a minute. She's super polite and I doubt she would ever say anything, but I'm pretty positive she saw. My poor GF was mortified. Sexy pics of me in lingerie meant for my BF. My mom saw them scrolling through pics from a trip I took. My fiance was sending me some sexy nudes on Snapchat one day. She had a bit too much to drink by this time. I got all of them, but so did one of her sisters and a few she accidentally posted to her story. Luckily one of her female friends saw it and told her so she could delete them before anyone else saw them. Her sister snapped her back a thumbs up that said didn't want to see that. But hey, nice vag. LOL. She was incredibly embarrassed naturally and it took a while before I got saucy pics again. I shared a link to my photographer friend's website on Facebook after she and I did a project together. I body painted some models. She took the photos. What I forgot was that there was also a page of nude photos of me from a photoshoot I had modeled for. I'm not exactly shy about nudity, but I also didn't mean to show off those pics to everybody I knew. I also once sexted nudes and dirty requests to my dad instead of my BF in a drunken mistake. I went to go visit my old boyfriend for about a week. During the trip we did a lot of things and I took a lot of photos. Stuff of art galleries, nature, us together, you know, regular trip stuff. My ex decided to get a bit NSFW and decided to partially record us doing the deed. I really wasn't paying attention while it was happening and thought the recording was on his phone. Well, of course. When I get back my family wanted to know how the trip went and if I had any photos. I happily showed them. I'm already protective of my phone, so I was holding the phone and scrolling whilst they asked questions and and. Then comes the video. It never played, but you know there's a thumbnail and of course it's me in a not so SFW position with my boyfriend. I was shocked and luckily caught it straight away and scrolled past. The damage was already done though. Most of my family laughed and now it's an inside joke. Years ago the internet was talking about some celebrities nude scene with full on dick. So I googled it because I'm curious. There were gifs and everything. Well, later on I went to open the internet to show my mother something at dinner and there's a penis gif just waggling around. Father-in-law was looking at photos on my phone with me. I got a text from my wife that said, "I've been a naughty bitch. You need to come home and slap my ass." I turned to him and said, "What kinda daughter did you raise?" I learned that day. A. Turn off preview. 3. Do not joke about a man's daughter. I hope my dad didn't see, but a message from FWB popped up saying something like, "I miss fucking you, slut." I went skydiving with a group of buddies. The first guy out of the aircraft got a badass slow-mo video of us all coming out of the plane after him on his GoPro. Naturally we all wanted a copy of the video. He left us his GoPro to plug into our laptops as he went to grab his stuff out of his car. If you've never used a GoPro before, you know when you plug it into your computer every file pops up with little thumbnails. The first guy to copy the video can't help but notice what looks like a naked girl in one of the videos. He stupidly clicks on it. It turned out to be our buddy with his current GF and he was giving her the most violent porn-worthy throat fucking you ever saw. And to top it off, after about 5 seconds he stops, yanks her head back and hawks up a big loogie and spits it in her mouth. We all fucking lost it. We couldn't stop laughing and he turned it off just in time before he came back inside. He ended up marrying her and we could never look at either of them the same ever again, lol. I was kind of on the flip side of this when my uncle was going through pictures of my baby cousin on his phone and swiped too far to show me a picture of my auntie standing completely naked in a doorway. The image is still burned into my mind. During college my girlfriend worked night shifts, so I would sometimes crash at her place, that way I'd be there when she got off in the mornings. One night her roommates had a few people over to drink and I, being alone, decided to crank one out. Spent about 3-5 minutes watching some material, wondering why the audio wouldn't work on my phone. Then I hear an eruption of laughter from the kitchen. It was a small apartment. Turns out I was the last one that connected to the Bluetooth speaker they were using and was blasting my porn audio to an apartment full of people. I have never been so embarrassed in my life and I lay there for what felt like an eternity afterwards listening to them all die laughing. IT guy here. Way back in the day I was using Netscape, which had this feature of popping up the last site you were on. I believe this was default. Anyways, I had legitimately been doing some research on hacking since I was the administrator for a small web hosting company, so of course the sites I hit were chock full of pop-up ads with porn. So some Monday my boss and another woman, I think she was basically the EA, wanted to look at something on my computer, so I go sure. NP. Fire up Netscape and bam, up pops like 8 chicks in a line all giving blowjobs. I was pissed. Luckily they believed my story, I think, but still, embarrassing. Other than that, nothing. I'm not stupid enough to use a work phone or computer to look at art. Also LPT, if you're attached to your work VPN, don't be browsing the naughty bits. My partner showed his friend some pictures from a vacation years ago and he scrolled too far back and he accidentally showed them my nudes. I was 5 feet away and died. Had the minister of my church at my house. He wanted to upload music from his laptop onto my Zune. Tells you when this was. He turns it on and the Zune immediately displays a topless picture of my fiancée, a girl he's known since birth, having been best friends with her parents. He just clears his throat and says, "I didn't see that." The rest of my time with him that day was incredibly awkward, but he never brought it back up again. Edit. To clear up any confusion, the picture was on my Zune that I had taken. The pastor knew nothing about it prior to seeing it. That would be when my sister saw my vag. We recently reconnected. We had been estranged because of my absolutely insane mother. We were laughing, talking, just generally catching up on 20 years of life. And of course we were showing one another pictures of our family's houses, friends. I thought, oh, I'll pull up Google Photos because then she can just open albums and see each person or whatever all at a time, and I forgot that one of the albums is called Naughty and Google Photos chose a very naughty pic for the album cover despite my begging it to choose another. I had the app open to an album of kid pics when I handed it over. She closed the album, swiped to see what other albums she wanted to look at, and I heard, oh, she told her fiance we got to know one another really well in that first meeting. Not exactly accidental, but when I was 15 my mom was snooping through my phone and found a text that said, "I wish I could have a girl with boobs so big I could suffocate in them." That was a cool fun time for me.